And we are live, guys.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
The Habanos Cigars Dinner and Drink Show, exclusively on 2OF Entertainment, with over 100,000 YouTube subscribers and rapidly growing to be the most watched and podcast cigar show broadcast globally. The Habanos Cigars Dinner and Drink Show, exclusively on 2OF Entertainment.
Hey, guys. So I got to say, I saw David do all this stuff for you, but he's put nothing in my feed. So I have nothing to give to you. All the stuff that you guys did is great, but I got nothing for you. So somebody wants to text David. Yeah, it's David. What are you going to do? So, and then I did prepare all the Star Wars characters because I saw the note yesterday. Star Wars characters that we're going to do. So there you go. So first of all, welcome to the first live show of the Habanos Cigar Drink show. So welcome, everybody. The first live event. We'll rebroadcast this on Saturday, but we realized because people are around the world, some of them don't really want to work and they would rather watch us. So here you go. So every week you'll have us live, and then on Saturday you can watch the rebroadcast. And there you have it. By the way, I'm going to smoke the Oliva V 135th anniversary cigar, which is a beauty. Wow. And I enjoy it tremendously. And this morning I'm going to say thank you to Macallan, and it's 25-year-old Scotch. So thank you, Macallan.
Right. So Raza, what are you smoking?
I'm smoking the thing that I've been smoking solidly for a week, as you know. There was a little bit of an absence in the UK market for this particular cigar. I kind of really got into this cigar a year ago. Straight off the bat, it is the Paul Larrañaga Galanes, which is a really nice sized cigar, very rich, very leathery, very leafy. To me, it's a bit of a linear smoke. In the sense that it's got the same flavor and aroma and strength most of the way, maybe a little bit stronger near the end. But one of the things I really like about Paul Larrañaga, as compared to some of the other brands, just in aesthetics only, I like the gold band. I've always liked this. The gold and white has some sort of a Ferrero Rocher feel to it.
A who?
A Ferrero
like
Rocher.
a Panini movie all of a sudden?
Yeah, I don't know if you get the chocolate in the USA, yeah, but it's a sort of a hazelnut praline chocolate with a hazelnut in the middle, but it comes in this gold wrapper. Kind of reminds me of that, has that kind of feeling. Today in this show, I'm trying to impart a slightly more serious persona.
Really?
So that
Wow.
I can keep up. No, so that I can keep up with both of you, because obviously you've taken this to a different level, and I find myself lagging short.
Well, that's just in life. But I will say that it's not that we've taken it to a different level. The fans have told us, fans have spoken, and they've said to us, gentlemen, we like it when you have clothes on. And when I mean clothes, I mean dressed up like penguins. I've seen us naked. It's scary. You don't want to see that. But when we have clothes on, the fans love us. So we're dressing in tuxes and doing live shows for them now.
I'm glad you come around to this way of thinking. I've been projecting this on you since the beginning, but it's gone a little bit awry. Notwithstanding the Miami summer gangster mode, we're back in jackets, I guess.
We are.
Oh, yes.
But I'm in a tuxedo. We're in tuxedos now, buddy. We're every show we're going to be dressing. And we're going to do the live show on Wednesday. And we're going to go ahead then and do the whatchamacallit show on Saturday, the rebroadcast. So if you miss on Wednesday, you can catch it. But the nice thing with the live show, today we're going to do our part 2 of Humidors. If somebody's watching, they can actually ask us a question live, and we can answer it.
Oh, yes.
So there you go. They can type in their thing like, hey, I want to know about this, this, and this. And we can go, well, good for you. I know, we can go, that's great. We'll help you. And there you go. We had a lot of questions that we answered last week from the show in the comments section. So people were really curious about their humidors, which I thought was very cool. So there you go.
All right. For me,
I'll just sit here and look pretty now. Yes.
For me, it's the other Slim Panatella, or the factory name is Deliciosos, the Paul Larrañaga Monte Carlos. This is a cigar which I have. Yeah, it's a Monte Carlo's #2, and this has been in the humidor for now about 5 or 6 years. It is
Okay.
33 by 159
Hmm.
millimeters.
Very nice.
33 is the ring gauge, and 159 is the uh, length. I mean, last week I La Gloria Cubana Media 2, Media #4, which is also the only other slim panatilla left in the Habanos portfolio and Vitulario. So I thought might as well smoke this one.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, we are three cigar aficionados. Well, not really. You're the sommelier. We're just the two guys that hang out in tuxedos. That's how I dress every day in my real life. So I figured I might as well just do it live and get paid for it. So this week, our topic was humidors and
Mm-hmm.
how to keep them better. And so last week we discussed how you can use, Tupperware, Corningware, and how to keep your humidor. But we had lots of questions, and you wanted to do a part two. So we're going to let you do a part two. And I think next week our topic should probably be cigar myths, like the cigar myths that
Sure.
people tell you that aren't true. I think that would be good. Or maybe even touch on it today. But anyway, humidors. So tell us, our great sommelier, more about humidors. And before we start, for people that have never seen the show, the first 15 or 20 minutes
Yeah.
is all about cigars. We're going to tell you all about cigars, what we're smoking, give you cigar tips from our sommelier. And then next 20 minutes is going to be our imaginary dinner guests that we'd like. And the last 20 minutes is us just talking about the cigars we've had or the scotch we've had. And we hope you enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, don't watch it. And if you do enjoy it, feel free to tell your friends and put it on in your favorite chemist shop or cigar lounge and go from there. And there you have it. So I'm going to sit here and look pretty. Go ahead.
Right. So, going to phase two or part two of the humidors. Last week we spoke about how should you get your first or initial humidor, how you should season it, and all that stuff. But today I thought, surely is a beauty. Right. So today I thought I will give you a couple of glimpses of the tiniest of the humidors. I mean, this is one which I have from James A. Fox in London. Now, this is just a very, very small little humidor made of Spanish wood. There's a divider in case you need one and all that stuff, and can carry, say, about 8-10 cigars. This is very basic, very basic. I mean, if somebody wants to really start, they can just start with this and this should be fine. But as we spoke about last week, there is no end. There are Ellie Blues and there are BTS. And then a lot of other brands which make humidors, which are cedar wood. Moving on to the more advanced discussion on the humidors was regarding how and when and if you should move to the electronic humidors. Now, electronic humidors is an advanced version of the humidors, primarily for very serious connoisseurs, collectors, and aficionados. Generally, the sizes that come in electric humidors start from 100, 150, and then they up to say around 1800, 2000 cigars per humidor unit as well. There are many brands in that case, but there are two differences in the humidors which I'd like to mention about. One is called a thermoelectric humidor or a cooliodor. Excuse me, that primarily works based on the surrounding environment, lacks a compressor, but uses the thermocool technology to keep your cigars in a certain temperature. And the humidity you have to manage through Boveda packs or through in one of the tubs in the humidor. Whereas then there is the finest or the advanced version, which is a full-fledged electric humidor, which is where you have a container or a tray for the water, which humidity in check, and then the temperature is controlled by a compressor and a heating unit so that it stays between certain temperatures. You can set the temperatures as low as somewhere around 13, 14 degrees Celsius. And go up to say around 25, 26 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity going down to as low as sometimes 55, 56 RH to about 85, 89, because that is all controlled through a sensor installed in the humidor. Electric humidor is ideal for boxes storage and for sometimes if you want to do long-term storage, or you live in a country like mine where temperatures are high for let's say around 8 to 10 months of the year, because we generally get as we get to our mid 20s say in March, and then that does not end till November, and this is Celsius, and we go as high as around 50 degrees Celsius in peak summers. So electric humidor is the only way we can cigars and keep them in a proper condition in terms of the temperature as well as the relative humidity if we have them. That does not take away the fact that if you don't have a cooler door or an electric humidor, you're not a connoisseur. There are phenomenally great desktop humidors and which serve the purpose as long as you make sure the environment in which they are is cool enough, and the room temperature is cool enough for it to stay there, and the humidor in any case. So in my perspective, I think you can go with anything that you like. Ideally, if you are a big collector, if you live in a hot environment, or you have loads of cigars to save and to savor them, ideal is to go for electric humidors. Any given day, a desktop humidor and a cigar aged in a desktop humidor with real cedar wood is going to be much more flavorful as compared to the electric humidors, which is exactly why now there is a pinnacle in the electric humidors with known as made by a company called Reiching from China. They have even the walls, the inside walls with cedar lining. So they have really mastered the art of electric humidors. So if you're going for that, and if you really want to go for the real deal, I think you should go for Reiching. Anything that works in your budget should be good enough.
And there you have it. Everything you ever wanted to know about electric humidors was afraid to ask. So very cool. I like that. And Usman, I have to say, I like your background. I like that
Thank you.
1950 car from Cuba, just sitting there, and that picture was probably taken last week. So I do like that. That's very
Thank you
nice.
very much.
I,
Thank you very much.
yeah.
I thought I should add a bit of color to the background because it was
Right.
pretty white and all that, and I prefer life as is. So why
You
not?
should
There
have
you
put
go.
up a picture of
Of
your
me.
orange,
I'm
of the
sorry.
orange beetle, your classic beetle. I think that would
Why
have
not
been,
sit in Why not sit in front of it and record the show next time?
you could do that. It's a good
There you go.
idea.
That's what
Yeah,
Sermon from the German does on our channel. He sits in
I
his BMW and does the whole show.
mm, I'm actually waiting for the better weather, which is just a
Okay.
month away, whence I can sit outdoors without an air conditioning, and then definitely that could be one of those days. There's also a possibility of me
I'm
doing.
sitting out. I'm sitting outdoors because I'm a man in a tuxedo in 30C, which for you people in America is 90 degrees.
Oh,
Okay,
oh
so
shit!
you know I take one for the show on a weekly basis. So there you
Uh,
go. So
this is
gentlemen,
this is surely
last
taking one for the show.
there you go. Last week we decided we were going to talk about either places where we want to smoke a cigar or people we want to smoke a cigar with. And I woke up this morning and I
Uh
saw in our group message with David that you guys sent tons of stuff. It looked really great. And
huh.
apparently David forgot to load it. So, but it looked good. So maybe we'll just run that as its own little thing. So who would like to start on either the person they want to smoke a cigar with that's an Instagram sensation or where they want to smoke a cigar?
Why don't we start with
Right.
Usman?
So
Usman Sommelier, why don't
okay.
you go first?
Right. Okay. I'll do that in that case. Regarding the first mishap that you spoke about, confused if you're telling the truth, or it is still some mysteriously it is gonna pop up in the show,
No,
the
no, no.
pictures and all
I
that
think
stuff.
I think I David. I saw the last mentions. David's waiting for me, and I'm like, dude, I got meetings right up until the time we do this live taping. I have no. You're not getting anything from me, so you need to put it up. And nothing's there. And I sent him a message, and
If
still not up. So if it magically appears, great. If it
right.
doesn't, it is what it is.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Let me tell you. From there seems to be a confusion. What he's waiting for you is the picture of your cigar for the
Oh,
other
no, that's fine. Here, there's my cigar.
and for
Okay.
or
So,
and yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah, okay. So moving on. So my first guest, or someone who I really admire and is a very good friend, as an elder brother, a real
wow.
sensation,
Yeah, right there. We're already
expert
smoking
in
cigars
cigars,
together.
expert. Well, he's an elder brother for
Oh,
sure.
he's elder is right.
Uh,
I mean, come on.
yeah.
It's like an elder. So,
Yeah. So I would like to introduce the first uh, internet sensation, master of Habanos, official master of Habanos for the United Arab Emirates, and the Hombre Habano in the communications category, which is the Habanos Man of the Year for the communications category in the year 2023. My brother, amigo, Ahmad, who's based out of
oh, very
Dubai,
nice.
has a huge following on YouTube, on Instagram, a real wealth of knowledge when it comes to cigars, and I learn a lot from him.
I have a question. When I go to the UAE this year for Formula One, is he going to go have cigars with me?
Oh, if you're going there, I am very sure you must have a cigar with Jasim, because if not, then it's going to be a loss. And in any
Well, like
case,
his
Abu
loss.
Dhabi,
So there you go. But yeah,
Abu Dhabi, Dubai, anywhere you go, cigar
yeah.
lounges. If you're with Jasim, you're treated like a royalty.
Oh well, I go to
You're
Dubai
made.
often for
You're
business, so
made.
we're going. There you go. My new best friend.
Nice.
We're going to Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. And Formula One, we'll see you in Abu Dhabi if the Middle East doesn't blow
Oh.
up between now and then. So there you go. Riza, who's going next?
You want me to go next?
Either way, my friend, it's your show.
Okay, I would like to share a cigar with this chap is a journalist. He's from the USA, I believe, from Los Angeles. I've had a couple of near misses in terms of meeting up with him in London.
Right.
He's the author of the Impossible Collection of Cigars and also the book on Arturo Fuente, which is one
Right.
of the cigar brands he champions big time. And he's a very well written,
Mm-hmm.
published journalist. I really like the both the formal and the casual feeling he brings to cigar smoking, and he does it as an American, and I think he has a little bit more of a. I think he spent some time in London. I've chatted briefly with him on Instagram, and so I'm talking about Aaron Sigmund here. I think
Oh
Usman
wow.
knows him, and his Instagram handle is Sig Cigar, SIG Cigar. Um, Seems like a really well informed individual, well traveled individual. His knowledge of cigars as a smoker, as a I guess someone who's very published in this industry is something that would really, just in terms of marinating around someone like that, even if you spend 2 minutes with someone like that, you learn something. And I'm not a particularly knowledgeable cigar smoker. I'm more of a cigar adventurer, traveler, and I just go for moods and tastes. So someone like that with a great deal of technical knowledge and widespread knowledge is the kind of person that I would love to share a cigar with and love to share a drink with, and that is my choice number one.
Very nice. Very nice. Well,
Wow.
I didn't go with people because I these people
Okay.
there I don't know them. They don't want to have cigars with me. I'm just too pretty. But I will say, if I have to pick people, I'm going to do these honorable mentions. Is the two gentlemen that I'm on a show with every week. You two gentlemen are the two gentlemen out of all the Instagram cigar men and women, all the YouTube men and women. You two are my favorite people to have cigars with. Full stop. End of the conversation. That's it. So, and there you go.
Thank you much.
And the good thing
Thank
is,
you much. Honored.
I am the dirt
oh,
beneath
welcome.
your feet. I am not worthy.
I'm totally aware of that. Plus, your girlfriend's check cleared and Usman's wife's check cleared, so we're good. Now,
Bloody hell.
the other, so there you go. All right, hey ladies, now they have a friend. Stop bothering me. Okay, now what I did is I picked places that I wanted to smoke cigars with you or your
Interesting.
guests or whoever. Now, I'm going to mention
Are you
a
talking
friend
about
of mine.
lounges or are you talking about sort of
Lounges.
settings? Ah.
Lounges, not settings. To me, really, if back in the day when we used to go to the UK for business a lot, after dinner you pull out, you could have a Cuban at your table because they'd bring the box of Cubans and you'd pick it. Right, it was delicious.
Yep.
They don't do that anymore. So what I've decided is I want to go to lounges or settings, which are just cigar lounges that people may not know of. And a friend of mine owns something called Smoke Inn out in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and their main place is in Boynton Beach. And so, Abe, I haven't seen you in years, but Abe, I used to go there every Saturday. They always had events. So Smoke Inn in Boynton Beach, Florida, is a place where everyone's friendly, great place to have a cigar, and just whatever antics are going on. But they always made it like when I first walked in there as a stranger, they made me feel like I knew them all for 20 years. So those are the kind of places I like. So that was a good place.
I guess at the end, when this video goes up on Saturday, you're going to tag all these people in. We'll be able to
I'm
see
not
them
even going to
at
bother.
the bottom. That'll be quite useful. Even for me, that'll be quite useful, actually.
Yeah, I will tag
because half the people I'm talking about, I don't even know them. So that would be useful for me.
Sure. We'll tag them. We can tag them, sure. And, and then in return, they'll do nothing for us. So I like that. Yeah, it's a good reciprocation. So, yeah. So I like your two guests. It's a win-win, yeah, for somebody. But no, I like your two guests, but I think we need a place to go smoke a cigar. So in America, that's where we're going to go smoke a cigar.
I thought you were going to say you want to smoke a nice Cuban cigar on Miami Beach on the sand at midnight, something like this, with a white behind you.
I've done that. So it's not when I live down there doing that. It's like sitting hanging out on Lincoln Road at one of the outside cafes, having a cigar is very nice. So I've been very fortunate that I've been able to have cigars all over the world. But sometimes it's like Cheers. You want a place where you feel at home,
where everyone knows your name. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't want them to know my name. I just want to walk in there and be like, nice. And the first time I walked into Smoke Inn,
like Tom Tom and Number 6 in London.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you see the way I kind of just
right here? Their check's clear too, so you're good. So yeah. So with our guests, with your guests today, I will suggest places for us to go. Some of them are going to be snooty, and some of them are just going to be like you can go in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and you're good to go. So,
Usman, round
sounds good.
2.
Right.
Yes.
So for round 2, the person shared the first name.
Look at hold on. Look what we have here.
Smoked the cigar. Oh,
all right. I'm not sure who this gentleman is.
That's called a divine revelation.
This one is my first choice. That's my first choice, Jasim.
And I have no other choice. There's no other thing for me to move. So that's the only one we're putting up right now. There you go.
Right.
So David didn't make them in a slot.
In any case.
Okay. There you go.
This time,
now for your
feels like a bit like an award ceremony where someone's putting the slides up a bit too late.
I know, right? I like that. It's live, and that's the best part about it. It's like
the dysfunctionality in itself is annoying but entertaining.
Yeah, that's us. And wait, once again, it's David. So the best part about it is when David comes to London with us.
Sir, and whilst I'm saluting you, David, a salute to Mr. President.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. So, but the best part about when David's giving me. Oh my God! Hold on. David's loaded 50 of them. Okay, let's see who this one is. Is that one we've discussed?
Oh, okay. Wait here. So that is
Okay.
my second choice. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the weight part actually meant keep it there.
Oh, all right.
So can you put
There you
it? Can
go.
you bring? Okay, right. So my
I
second
can do
choice for
anything.
today,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
the gentleman I have smoked virtually with, which means on Zoom and
That sounds
on
like
the
it's kinky.
on digital, yeah, on digital, is
Right.
my teacher for the sommelier course, uh, the hombre Habano himself for the communications category in 2019. Alexander Avilar, I seriously respect this guy for a couple of reasons. I mean, he's originally Brazilian.
Okay.
He talks serious business when it's to cigars. Lot of knowledge, absolutely great personality, always there to help people learn more about cigars and the hobby. Not only restricted to one region or geography when it comes to cigars, across the board when it comes to cigars, and someone who is always very warm in the conversations, engages very well, and I think the day any day when I get a chance to meet Alexander in person, I would really great evening and a great cigar to share with him, and really learn a lot from him. So Alexander Avilar
Very
is my
nice.
second choice for sure.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
All right. There you go. Oh, and now we've lost all the choices again. They've disappeared. So I don't know what happened there. Anyway.
It can
Mm.
be done in
All right.
post-production.
Apparently. Oh well, David can put them back if he's watching. If he's not watching, no, we don't do post production. You know better than that. So on our budget, so 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 Riza, who's
I'm
who's your
gonna
second choice?
on the second choice. I'm gonna go in a direction I don't would not normally have gone in, but this ticks, I think, at least two boxes, perhaps even three boxes.
Okay,
Now I'm gonna pick someone London-based who doesn't normally hit my radar, and which is a shame because I think I really enjoy this personality. That was
Mhm.
my first choice. That was
That was that was
Aaron
that
Sigmund.
oh
was that
good,
was Aaron
good.
Sigmund.
There's
That
Aaron
was Aaron
Sigmund. That
There
was
was
Sigmund.
my
that.
first
Yes.
choice.
There's
This is
Adam's
a
first. Okay,
delayed.
good.
These
Yeah.
photos are being relayed live from Russia
Guys,
via
now that
satellite
Yeah,
comms and links. So the delay
yes,
is there. The capacitor
yeah,
is uploading and downloading, etc., etc.
yeah. You know what he's gonna do.
Raza,
So
Raza, Raza,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Raza,
sir.
the
Yes,
fact
I
the
see an
fact
empty
that you
chair.
met yeah, the fact that you mentioned Aaron Sigmund and you mentioned, well, it was about the Impossible Collection of Cigars and the other book which is on
And the
Fuente.
Arturo
But
Fuente book.
yes, a lot of people who don't know, there is another book which is very interesting and written by Aaron Sigmund, and
Which
that
is,
is
oh yes, the
the
Playboy
Playboy
book.
Book of Cigars.
Yes, yes. I was
nice.
trying. I was trying a little bit too hard to keep it kosher. This
Wow. Look at
episode.
look
since
look at
since
you
I
turning
avoid.
Jewish.
since
I
Look at
avoid.
you
I
turning
avoid
yeah,
the F
Jewish.
yeah,
bomb. But that's great. That's
since
great. That's great. That's
since
great.
since
Wait a
since
minute. Wait a
since
minute.
when have you
So
started
when?
to keep
Since
it
when?
kosher?
Yeah, really. What happened? Wait a minute. Is your daughter back from overseas and she's sitting there watching the show and you're
Anyone could
trying to
be
get her to
watching this,
prepare?
and no one could be watching. I could just be talking to
No,
myself
there's
right
people
now.
watching. I see the numbers. I know who's watching. We're good. People are watching.
Mm,
Thank you, Mr.
mm.
President. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mhm.
Um,
By the way, before we get off that topic, Donald Trump is willing to go on any podcast to talk to anybody about him running for president. So, Riza, if you really want Donald
come
Trump to come
smoke a
on,
cigar,
no, no, no,
Mr.
no, no, no.
Trump.
He won't smoke a cigar. But if you really want him to come on so you can kiss his orange tuchus, you can send a letter,
It's very
an email
unkind
to
on
his
your
media.
part. I was being very respectful and deferential.
He's still an orange guy. He looks like a big orange. Anyway, you can send if you would like, because we've already sent it, and apparently he wants to hear from his number one fan. If you send him a letter telling him you want him to come on the show and talk about his presidential election, there's a
I'm not going to send any
90% chance
letters.
he will
I'm
show
not
up.
going to send any letters. I'm going
Oh,
to
okay.
use the Force. I'm going to use the Jedi mind trick. Mr. Trump, come on and have a chat. Have a chin wag.
Thanks for. Oh my God, a chin wag. I don't know if he knows
Hashtag,
what that is.
hashtag Donald Trump for president again.
Ah,
All right, that killed the show. All the fans
okay
left.
then.
Okay, now
Now,
who's your next
now,
guest, my friend?
now,
Well,
can
as
we
I
go to
said,
your second choice?
as I said,
Yes.
I'm trying to tick a few boxes here. But this person I
Okay.
find interesting. Met him on a couple of occasions. I've never had a chance to shoot the breeze with him or smoke a cigar.
Okay.
And he's a contemporary of mine. He's my age. He's my age group. I think
Someone's
he's
your
North.
age? Wow.
I believe he's a North London public school boy. And in that there's some level of fraternity. He runs a very beautiful, very traditional cigar shop with his dear father, who in himself is considered like everyone's favorite uncle. And here we go. There's Eddie Sahakian.
Yes, and
Salam,
his
Eddie.
dad.
Whoa!
Um, yeah, but no, no, no,
That's
no, no,
royalty.
no. He's the guy is doing well for himself. His persona is out there and everything. But I haven't had the opportunity to sit and smoke cigars, talk Davidoff cigars. I tend not to smoke outside the Cuban stock, but I would try anything in the right company.
Right.
And that's his father, Mr. Edward Sahakian, who
That was
sorry.
should be should be an honorable mention for any one of us, and it should be an honor to smoke with someone who's
Yes.
actually given more than 40
That's
years
exactly
to the
right. But
industry.
that's exactly right. But I wanted to, with me, I'm not necessarily a contrarian. I like to go slightly outside what perhaps people are expecting, which is why I thought Eddie Sahakian would be a great shout out, a great mention.
Yeah.
He's got
Mhm.
sartorial style, he's got elegance, he's got culture, he's got class. He's sort of like dictionary definition of a London cigar smoker, and that would be someone to hang out with, I think, to smoke a cigar.
Very nice. Yeah, I love his father. When his father does an interview, I watch the
Yes,
interview because his
yes.
dad has these great stories, and his dad's been doing it for 100 years, and I love it. So listening to his dad he's just very elegant. He's always a
He's
gentleman.
old school. He's old school,
Yeah,
old world. Seen it all,
Absolutely.
done it
yeah.
all. Got the t-shirt, got the
He's a,
jacket, the whole damn thing.
I don't think that man ever wears a t-shirt in his life.
Yeah,
So
you know what I mean. The proverbial
yeah, yeah.
t-shirt underneath,
Yes, 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 yes. But no,
the vest,
he's
the
somebody I
string
would love to
vest.
have one. Yes, the string vest. Yes, he's somebody I would love to have one with.
So, what do you think of
Now,
my second choice, Usman?
would love it.
And Stephen, what do you think? It's
A
okay.
good one, a very good one.
It's a beauty. Yeah. Now, where we should go with this gentleman is in New York
Mhm.
City to the Habana Club
New York.
at the top of the Sixes, which is a beautiful
Oh.
private club, overlooks the
Oh.
city. They've got, yes, excuse me. They have wonderful food. Everyone's always friendly there, and you never know what celebrity, other than myself, you're going to run into. And they also have a club in Los Angeles.
And
We can
as
both
a
do party.
as a long existing VIP member, are you able to procure some membership benefits for us in the future, perhaps, perchance, maybe?
Wow, we have a really bad connection. I'm sorry. Hello, are you there? Anyway,
That's the satellite uplink downlink through Russia.
yeah. My friend, if you guys ever come to the States, we will take you to nice cigar places. Only the best for you. So yes, they will let us go in. So not to
Actually, I would like to smoke in New York in some sort of seedy, sort of back
I
alley
know
kind of
those places.
as
There's a
well.
couple
Sort of like
cigar
dives and
places
sort of
that
like
are nice
places
and
like that.
seedy. Yeah. Oh, I got places for you. I've got places where you go down 3 steps socially and physically. So they're going to be good places. So there
Again.
you have it. Mhm. So
Well,
Oh.
that's
All right.
2 rounds completed. Round 3.
I know.
Osman.
All right,
Okay, for my round
I'm gonna
three,
hit buttons to see
my-
who. Is this
yeah,
your
my
guy?
round 3. No, well, that's an honorable mention. Ajay
Okay.
Patel, who has been in the
Goodness
business for
sake,
30
you guys always
years.
preempt my stuff. There was no need to put that up. That's
Yeah,
anyway.
right. Yeah, right.
That's
So
actually
All right,
that's my
mine.
whatever.
That's
honorable.
mine. That's
Is
mine.
that your
I
guy?
might as well start. I might as well
So
start round 3.
we've already done
My round
Jasin.
3.
We
My round
Yeah.
3 is Ajay Patel. Now, for a lot of reasons. Okay.
Okay.
So, and that's why I left him to the end. Primarily because I have smoked with him on a couple of occasions, not on a one-to-one, but within a group at his
Right.
venue, which I think, honestly, I think if you're going to go by cigar stock and you're going to go by reputation, it's way, way up there. That's number 6 Cavendish on Cavendish Square.
Okay.
Now, Ajay, I started watching a lot of Ajay's content on YouTube just before, well, around the COVID time, just before the COVID time. And what I noticed, this is how my perception of Ajay is. He's very well traveled. He's been to Cuba no end of times. His YouTube videos are so ridiculously informative because he doesn't have huge pretenses. He will just go almost, you can put yourself in his place. He will travel around, go to the Habanos Festival, talk about cigars. And yet, in the last couple of years, I've also come to realize what an industry stalwart he is. He knows his stuff inside out. He's forgotten things I've yet to learn about cigars, especially, I think his speciality is aged Cuban cigars,
Ah,
Yes, sir.
which in itself is a niche within a niche within a niche, and his stock is remarkable. I believe he was the first person in the UK to have a La Casa del Habanos in the UK, in a place called
Yes, sir.
Teddington in London, and that guy, well, so I say this, I have no off switch. I've looked into this guy's eyes. That guy has been through a hell of a time to get where he is. So hats
very
off,
nice.
remarkable fellow. I'm being very complimentary for the right reasons. This man is someone you want to smoke a cigar with, absolutely. Maybe in his own lounge.
Very nice. Very nice. All right.
Any given day, and that is exactly why he was my honorable mention as well. I have been able to procure a few cigars that I was not able to find anywhere in the world, especially during COVID times. And Ajay was very, very helpful. He was kind enough to not only provide them, but like ensured that I received them here all the way in Pakistan. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him in person, but I've had a couple of virtual chats with him through Zoom and through WhatsApp calls and all that stuff. Really, someone who puts a lot of the real connoisseurs to shame when it comes to the knowledge sharing. That is
The knowledge
exactly
is out
why
there.
my
It's just
reason
way
was
out
to
there.
put, yeah, yeah. So that is exactly why my reason was to keep Edward Sakian and Ajay as honorable mentions, because these are the people who should not even should be considered as a sin to compare these people, given the kind of knowledge and
Mhm.
dedication they have put into this business, to this industry, and the number of years they have put in. I mean, Ajay being with around 32 years and Edward being more than around 40. So this is really, and in Ajay's case, there's a very interesting debate going on these days, since Habanos has come with a new category in their Vitalario by saying the vintage Habanos, and their category says a vintage 10 5 years, whereas Ajay does not even say or categorize anything as vintage unless it is 20 years aged. So it is the
Wow.
connoisseur version versus the Habanos version,
Niche,
and Ajay
niche within a
happens to be
niche
one of
within a
yeah,
niche.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Ajay happens to be one of those who actually cars which are 40 years, 50
And,
years
and,
old,
and
which can be considered as monumental and historical. So his word and his kind of version of what to be considered as vintage and all that stuff is something which at least I would go by, regardless of what Habanos say. So
and one last thing,
definitely
and one last
an
thing,
amazing
one
person.
last thing. The slight commonality between the Sahakians and now with AJ is they are dedicated at a level where their kids. Well, so in the case of Edward Sahakian, it's Eddie Sahakian. In the case
Yes,
of AJ,
Right.
his daughter Rekha, who's taken
Rekha
over at number 6. There's this sort of lineage developing
legacy.
of transmission of education, experiences, hospitality, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And we sitting in London, we're a little bit spoiled because we see these things, but it's worth talking about. So that was another reason.
No, it's very nice. You
Absolutely.
guys are very lucky that you have these connoisseurs. We don't really have these people in America. We have like Rocky Patel. We have like they're more
Who was
celebrity
over in
than
London,
they
by the
know.
way? He was here a couple of weeks ago, I think.
I don't. He's a very nice guy. I mean, I bumped into him and his brother when I used to be in Tampa. They're very nice, but I think like especially Mr. Starkin, the older one, he's got knowledge that nobody has. and he's met Zeno Davidoff, and he, you know, like he can tell you these great stories.
That's right.
Where a lot of these guys, they're more New World, and they've got that. And I don't. And to me, it's like it's nice, but even like, listen, as much as I like Oliva V and the CAO Brazilian Amazons and all of them, their guys aren't these guys, and we don't really have a place in America where you can go
okay,
and meet
okay.
these type
On
of
that
guys.
note, Stephen, on that note, by the way, you do
Yeah.
have a bit of a personality. I'll give him a shout out. You have a bit of a personality who, in my book, and I'm old enough to remember this, on British TV in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a guy called Alan Wicker. Very, very, very smart dressed gentleman. He was a world traveler. He was sort of a journalist, but an explorer of luxury, of the way that people lived.
Right.
And you have a modern day version of that in Kirby Allison, who hits that mark when it comes to, global travel, lifestyle, sartorial cigars, that kind of stuff. So you have someone developing out of that. And if that person's around for the next 10 years,
wait. Let me just. I watch Kirby's stuff, and he lives here in Austin, by the way. So why he doesn't, smoke cigars with me, that's his loss. But from his persona on his YouTube and his persona when I see him do things, I don't get engaged. Like when he's with the Cigars, he's with them all the time at Davidoff in London, right? He's there like every other month they have a show, which is cool. I watch that. But maybe his personality outside of the show is different, but the persona he puts up is sort of like, I would have a cigar with him to see if there's more to him than that. His persona doesn't excite me to want to sit there and listen and talk to him for hours, where you meet some people and you just want to talk to them for like ever. Does that make sense?
It is the ultimate truth serum, as far as I'm concerned, the cigar, right? And when you've lit up for an hour or so, people will come down or raise themselves up to a level that you're not necessarily expecting. I've seen that happen too many times for me to ignore it. And the surface appearances begin to, I won't say disintegrate, they kind of vanish to a more real persona. So the way to test it is to smoke a cigar with someone, whether you're interviewing someone for for a job or getting to know someone. As long as they smoke, it's a great I won't say equalizer, but it's a truth serum. Let's call it that way.
It's like playing golf. When you play golf with someone, you see if they're honest. When we do deals with people, we like to play golf with them if they play golf, because if you don't count a shot, then I'm like, what else won't you count? And I'd rather someone say, listen, it took me 15 strokes to get to the hole, than instead it's 6. Yeah, but what about those little chips and so I'm very much just be you. Now, and for Kirby, I know you watch because you're jealous because you're revamping your whole channel based on what we do. And thank you for that. But if you want, Kirby, we'd love for you to come on our show and have a cigar with the three of us. Or if you want to just have a cigar one-on-one. But that, to me, would be very cool. Maybe his persona outside the show.
Well, he's in your hood. You just said he lives in Austin.
I just said that. He's literally up the street. Yeah. He never reaches out. He doesn't love me. Joe Rogan reaches out all the time. I'm like, Joe, no. Yeah, no, your fans aren't our fans. So I have to tell Joe no. And Elon reaches out all the time. And I'm like, Elon, no one knows what you're talking about. So we can't have you on the show. So,
I'm interested, Mr. President. Please, we're reaching out.
Yes,
I'm on the show.
Donald Trump, you can come on the show for Rizza. Okay. Yeah. So who's going next? Am I going with a place to smoke or? Yes. Who's your third choice? No, go ahead.
You can go there.
I'm just going to hit. I'm just hitting pictures until we find your choice. Is that it?
Okay. No, that's the first one. Jasim, we've already done that. Alexander was my second choice. There would be something with the number 3. Oh, keep it here. So that's my third choice.
Hey, look, we got it on our third hit.
Dandy, which is his. which is Alex's social media name. Otherwise, it is Alex Stipic, if I'm not wrong. He's a Serbian. Cigar sommelier, cigar educationist, someone who has been in the cigar fraternity for almost now more than 15-20 years. A very, very fine gentleman when it comes to the knowledge part and imparting the knowledge part. And I really like him because of his principled and not portraying what he is. The element that you were referring to a little bit earlier in the conversation with Alex, you don't really get to hear that. I mean, to an extent, when I had a discussion with him recently, and I said, "How about we have a live session?" And he was very clear. He's like, "I prefer meeting in person and having those conversations real rather than just being an art thing or something like that." So how about whenever we meet somewhere, you tell me what we want to do and we'll do it. I actually respected it. Saying no to me, it was like something which he does. So whenever, and the people who've met him and the people who've actually interacted with him that way, he's always been that way. Whenever I interact with him over social media channels to learn something, he's always there. So Alex is someone I'm really going to look forward to having a cigar with sometime very soon.
No sucking up. No sucking up. Just compliments.
Yeah. If he sucked up any more, his nose would be a little brown spot right there. But no, I like that. And when we go to London, we'll give everybody enough notice, and we will do as many shows in London as they would like us to do. Some will be live, and some will record. And there you go.
How many subscribers have you got, Stephen?
103,000.
Bloody hell!
More than 100K.
How did you even get that? I suppose people are going to have to watch this channel to find out how you got 103. So before we get into where I would like to smoke a cigar at somewhere else in the world. Yes, go ahead. Go.
Before you go there.
Yeah.
And now that we're talking of 103, 104K of subscribers and followers, I would also like to give a shout out to a gentleman on our show, Raza, who has a huge fan following on Instagram with more than 104K followers. So
it's beginning.
I would really like to have a cigar with you.
Beginning to fall. I'm just getting slower at posting stuff now.
That's because we're all busy.
So Raza,
he's getting old. He's getting older too. So
very old.
Raza, would you prefer to have a cigar someday with me as well?
I will. I've had the pleasure of smoking with Usman on more than 3 or 4 occasions in person, but I would love to smoke with Usman and Stephen in London. I would like that because I knew from what I can see, apart from China being a massive audience. Shout out to China. Shout out to everyone who's getting into the sort of Cuban cigar industry or Cuban cigar enthusiasts, or even whether Cuban or New World. But London is pretty much the place to smoke in the world if you want to smoke Cuban cigars. There's no end of lounges, there's no end of expertise, there's no end of personalities, and most people can speak English.
Well, they speak that funny Queen's English, so nobody knows what you're saying. But yeah, it's close enough. So I will say, though, the other place to go smoke
Stephen, a cigar, technically, that is English. That is English.
That's the old 14th century English, and nobody understands you guys. You guys spell ass wrong. You spell tire wrong.
What's nice is the British left the English language with the Americans as well. They screwed it up a little bit, but there you go. It's there. They speak English.
Let me tell you. Well, I will say when traveling. This is since I'm going.
I'm sorry. My serious nature is beginning to disintegrate as we're getting deep into this program. So I'm just
we're getting deep into this program.
Wait.
What are we, 60 minutes?
Stephen's choice.
I don't really. Well, listen. I just go with the flow. You know how it is. What it is. I'm good. So here's the best place when you're outside the United States. I've smoked in London. I've smoked all over the world, but this is one of these places where I just get a kick out of the characters that are there. And that is the Winston Churchill Club in Dubai at the Four Seasons Hotel.
Yes, sir.
I've sent him pictures. I like it just because of the characters. I've smoked there many times. They don't have a good selection. They have New World cigars. They barely have Cubans. To buy Cuban cigars, I found in Dubai, I have to go to these little cigar shops that you go into a store, another store.
They're named as Litterbox.
Yep, little, and they have the best Cubans. But like these big cigar places have all New World, and I was like, I'm not here for New World. I want Cubans. So what I found when I go to Dubai, now I have to bring my own Cubans. But Four Seasons, the Winston Churchill Club in
Yeah.
Dubai. There's one downtown. There's one on the ocean or the sea, I should say. Beautiful places.
There's quite a lot of cigar clubs in Dubai. I used to be in and out of Dubai between sort of 2002 and 2008, constantly in and out of Dubai.
There
I
are
lived
a
there.
lot.
Right.
I used to smoke singularly at the Capital Club in the DIFC. Do you know that one?
I don't. I've
Yeah.
heard of it. I don't know if it's still there.
And this is
though.
a
It may
long
be.
time ago. A long
Yeah,
time ago.
so-
We're talking 15, 16 years ago. I used to smoke at the Capital
Okay.
Club.
It's still
All
right. Yeah. So all right. So you're talking of you and Stephen's Choice is practically 4 to 5 minutes away. It exists. There's Arts Club in DIFC. Then there's Churchill Club in Four Seasons on the 8th floor.
Right.
They're all in DIFC. DIFC has a lot of cigar lounges. Even the Peacock Alley in Waldorf Astoria. Then there's Smokes and Mirror. There's Pear Club. A lot of clubs. There are a lot of smoking places which are available in Dubai. And Dubai is quite acceptable when it comes to cigar smokers. You go to any of the even
Yes.
restaurants and you ask them that do you have a cigar ashtray, and they will actually bring you a cigar ashtray, not those
Yep.
ashtrays. And so because of the warmer climates, they have kept it open for the cigar smokers to sit in and smoke cigars. So I think that is a great thing and real
Yeah,
fun
it is.
to smoke. And in Dubai, when Stephen was talking, the limitation of shops in Dubai is that in Dubai, the cigar scene and the cigar supply is controlled by one distributor, which is Bakir Mohibi Enterprises. Jasim Ahmed, who was my first choice, happens to be a marketing and sales guru as well. And that is why they have their own shops by the name of Letterbach across Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and all of that. Even the duty frees
Yes.
where they supply. So since there is one supplier, so that's why they've kept it that way. And there's by the name of Cigar 1815, which is actually in the international city or something like that,
Okay.
which is owned and run by a couple of Chinese owners. Good friends now, George. I'll give it to George at Cigar 1815.
Hey, George.
And Putu, who have always been there. They have some great selection of cigar. They have some great selection of cigars actually. So other than Litterbach, if you really find some good cigars, that's George and all that. For non-Cubans, I would definitely want to give a shout out to the Leaf Master in Dubai, Sakfalet, one of the coolest places ever I've been to, and extremely. The word tiny would not be right given the fact that the space is actually tiny, but what they've done with it, 800 plus different varieties and 200 or 250 different types of accessories with any and every kind of brand that you can think of in that very place, which is nested in Hilton. Amazingly done and very knowledgeable. So a shout out to the Leaf Master in Dubai for all the and unique accessories, and I mean actually unique accessories.
Very cool. Yeah, when I go there, it depends where we stay. If we stay downtown at the Palace, then there's a handful of cigar places. But if we stay at the Ritz on the seaside, then literally I walk out of the Ritz, I make a right, I go down maybe 200 meters, and to the left there's a smoke shop. And I met the owner. He's very nice.
Yes.
And I told him I wanted Cubans. So he has to take me upstairs to the cigar thing. And then he takes me into the secret room where they have the Cubans. And then I have a field day. But it's like a schlep. But the Cuban store that I went to near Meat Moo, my favorite restaurant in Dubai, by the way, Meat Moo, there's a cigar store and they hardly have Cubans. And to your point about smoking, we went to Salt Lick or something like that at the Ritz on the ocean, and they had cigar smoking outside. They wouldn't let us smoke inside, so we sat outside and had cigars while we had beautiful steak. So, but they're very accommodating.
By the way,
So I,
Ritz also have a lounge. Now Ritz have a lounge
Mhm.
actually.
they
Yeah,
may. I didn't
now
smoke
Ritz
in
have
the
a
lounge.
lounge. Ah, okay.
So there's so many places to go smoke and enjoy. And, at the hotels, they let you smoke. And it's
Absolutely.
not like a heart attack like it is in America, like you can't. Now, the place that I visited many times and I have not smoked a cigar, but I'm hoping to do it this year is Qatar. But I don't know if you can smoke cigars in Qatar, in Doha. So hopefully this
You
year at
can.
Formula One, I
You
will
can.
find out. Oh, I'm going. There you go.
The, you can, and there are some quite great.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys.
Hmm. Okay.
So how are our cigars, gentlemen,
Who's
before
going
we
next?
leave? Because I think we've covered all three. We've had three. There you go.
Galan is always
Okay, so my
delivers.
cigar is
Once again, unfortunately for
well. The
my
Monte
Oliva
Carlo is
V, the
also amazing
135.
always.
Well, there, yeah, I was going to say my Oliva
I
V is
get
always a good
nervous. I get
smoke.
nervous when I look at the thinner ring gauge cigars. Any thin ring gauge
Yeah.
cigar, it just makes me nervous because there's always a draw issue. I don't know how to cut it, and there's always like not getting enough smoke. Even though it's a Paul Aranyaga, one of my favorite brands, that Monte Carlo
Raza,
never had a good one.
I agree.
Never had a good one. Never had one.
I
That, wow,
agree.
this was amazing.
I agree with you on right. So I agree with what you've said, and that is as a rule. I've always kept it like out of one box of 25, 2 to 3 will always be like this, and that's okay. I will just consider that I've purchased 20,
For the sake
22
of it, for the
from a
variety
box
of
of
it.
25, and that's okay. Uh,
Very nice.
as far as yeah, but to be honest, if you read the profile and the aroma, and if you really want to enjoy the brand and the different kind of the thinner ringages are much flavor profile as compared to the
I've
thicker
heard
ones where
this
the
said to
smoke is
me. I've
much
heard this said to me by
and
many,
so
many
Monte
people.
Carlo is
Okay.
But they
Mhm.
still make me nervous.
So before we leave,
All right.
what's the show next week, guys? Other than the cigar myths, we're going to do that because people always have questions about cigars that they've heard this from somebody or that. But it is true, by the way, the one myth that if you do smoke cigars as a man, you're a better lover. That is true. So we're going to get that one right off. That's a true myth. That's correct. So
I have a
what are we going to talk
suggestion.
about?
I have a
Yeah.
little bit of a suggestion. It's been
Uh-oh.
percolating. I
Uh-oh.
want to take a little bit of a diversion
All
next week,
righty.
if it's possible. If it's possible.
Anything's possible. It's your show.
Mhm.
I have. Why don't we go for a cigar story, a personal cigar story each?
Ooh.
It can be a
All
cigar
right.
experience we've had. It can be a smoke we had. It can be a stupid story, a funny story,
Okay.
something very personal that
All right.
has some involvement with cigars, cigar smoking, something that stayed in your head and you weren't able to ever share. Why don't we go in that direction for a change for 1 week
I like
only?
it. We could do whatever you
Mhm.
want. Every week we can change the
I've
I
smoked
direction.
really
with some
like it.
interesting. I've smoked with some interesting characters, some interesting places, and so I have that
Okay.
kind of percolating in my head. Maybe I would like to share that.
That's very cool. I think those will be fun
Sounds good.
stories.
Sounds good. That's
You
a
can
good
bring
one.
anyone into it. You can
Yeah.
bring any characters you
That's
feel
a,
like into it. But a cigar story that doesn't necessarily have to end with a punchline. It can do. But why don't we go for some, maybe someone famous that we smoke with, some
Okay.
legendary cigar experience, something where you smoked a cigar and you thought, bloody hell, this cigar is absolutely amazing, or
Right.
time and place kind of thing. How about that?
I've got the
sounds
perfect
good.
cigar story then.
Sounds good.
I only have one because the only famous
Yeah.
people I smoke with
Let's
are
do
you
that.
two. So, there you go. I get this. I don't smoke
And
with any other
eventually,
famous people.
you're going to smoke with Mr. President. I mean, he's going to watch, but you're going to smoke
He'll
with him,
watch. He
and I
won't be
think
able to smoke with us. I wonder if I don't think he'll be offended if we smoke cigars and ask him questions though.
I think he's a bit of a cool cat. He can deflect questions quite well.
Yeah, he probably won't answer any of our questions. So that's why that'll be the best.
He's a
Can't wait.
discombobulator. He's a discombobulator. His strength is that you can't predict him.
Yeah, let's go with that. Gentlemen, as always, it is good to see you both. It's good to see you live. Next week, Wednesday, we will be live again. For the people
Yes,
that are
sir.
watching this on Saturday, we will see you on Saturday. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for everybody that are becoming fans. You can catch these two gentlemen right there. You can see their Instagrams. If you want to catch our Instagram for the channel, go to Two Old Farts Making Noises. And we post everything that Riz sends us because we have no choice. It's in his contract. So we do that. So there you go. But it's always good stuff. And we enjoy doing that. And we post other things from our other
There
shows.
is no contract. There is an agreement between hearts and minds.
There
That's
you
it.
go. That's our
And that
contract.
is
There you
Oh,
go.
stronger
wow.
than the written word.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.